I remember the first chill of autumn air when everything began to change. I was just a boy, no more than 11, shuffling through the dense underbrush behind my house, adrenaline fueling my escape as I sought solace in the wooded sanctuary where I could drown out the noise. The noise of their fights, sharp words piercing through the thin walls of our home, echoing in my mind like a haunting melody I could not shake. I always thought I was hiding from them, but in truth, I was hiding from myself. I had a secret I could not share, one buried deep within me like a stone weighing me down. The first moment that I noticed something was off was when I sat cross-legged on the cold, damp forest floor, staring at the intricate patterns made by the leaves, each one telling a story of its own. Then my thoughts drifted to the bruises I witnessed when glancing in the mirror, souvenirs of an unseen battle that was raging inside me. Tired of being a silent spectator in my own life, I decided to end my pain. I climbed high into a gnarled oak tree, my heart pounding like a drum as I stood on the precipice, teetering between the branches. I could have fallen, but against my instinct, I didn't. Months rolled by, filled with the awkward hush of family dinners and muffled screams spilling too often from my parents' room. I found comfort in books that held stories where the characters fought and triumphed over darkness. I was 14 years old now and smart enough to know I was losing. A darkness like no other crept into my thoughts, whispering lies that offered no solace. One fateful evening, it pushed me too far, and in a moment of panic, I pressed my fingers against my skin, trying to escape the deep-seated hurt spiraling within. I hadn't meant to draw blood, yet there it was, glistening on my wrist, a release showing me that pain was indeed a comfort, that it was real and tangible. As I stood there in numbing silence, I realized that I could either fight or succumb to the screaming void within. At 15, I made my way to a local park, the dull buzz of city life fading behind me, enveloped in the comfort of twilight. I stumbled upon a small group of kids laughing and joking by the swings. For a fleeting moment, I forgot about my internal war. I tried to fit in, but every time I laughed, a shadow flickered in my periphery, reminding me of the storm brewing beneath the surface. But when they looked deeply at me, they didn't see the boy desperate for light. They saw nothing at all. That night, I returned home to find solace in the only way I knew. I slid a small blade across my skin while recollecting that glimmer of laughter, the sting of reality contrasting against my fragile hope, the expectation that maybe, just maybe, I could feel alive again. It took just one more slip in the darkness to push me to the brink. 16 felt heavier than the previous years, the weight pressing down on me like a heavy cloak wrapped tightly around my chest. During what should have been a moment of reprieve, I found myself perched on the staircase, slipped away and drifted outside, laying on the grass beneath a canopy of stars while counting each one in desperation. I thought they could somehow grant me a wish, and for years that wish had been unwavering, to be free of fear, of loneliness, of the shadows following me. But freedom remained out of reach that night, and the cruel whispers of despair overcame me as I jumped in the dark. Before I could hit the ground, a hand gripped my wrist, pulling me back sharply. It was my younger brother, pulling me from the edge, and with every sob he let out, something flickered within me. I saw his fear, and in that moment, I realized I couldn't leave him alone to navigate that treacherous world. I fought back against the tide, scanning the crevices of my heart for a flicker of the boy I used to be. 17 was about learning not just about life, but about reaching out. I found people willing to listen, hands willing to uplift me. In their laughter and warmth, I reclaimed pieces of myself I thought were lost along the way. I shared my story, and with every word, the tally of victories over despair etched itself on my mind. I learned that scars do not define me. They are simply echoes of my battles. Now, as I stand here, a much older man, I bear the memories of my journey as a badge of honor. Each tally mark no longer signifies pain, but rather resilience. I learned to turn darkness into light, turning despair into compassion. I have a beautiful life now, a daughter whose laughter enriches the air around us. With every moment I cherish alongside her, I build a family grounded in understanding, love, and safety. No matter how deep the night becomes, I will ensure that none of us wander alone again. As I gaze into her radiant eyes, I am reminded that we can all find light, even after the darkest of nights. Keep moving forward always.